Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. Prime Minister Modi has inaugurated the new Pamban Bridge in Tamil Nadu, marking the opening of first vertical, life railway sea bridge. The new bridge, inaugurated on the occasion of Ram Navami, connects mainland India to Rameshwaram Islands. Prime Minister reached the soil of Tamil Nadu after concluding his two-day visit to Sri Lanka, and after reaching Rameshwar, Prime Minister also offered prayers at the famous Ramanathan Swami temple in Rameshwaram. And after inaugurating the Pamban Bridge, Prime Minister Modi also laid a foundation stone and dedicated roads and rail projects worth over 8,000 crore rupees. The nation, in fact, now shifting our focus to the Pamban Bridge. Let's understand this bridge and take a look at some of its unique features. And then, of course, we're also going to discuss with some known personalities on what this bridge means and how it's going to make, in fact, a lot more sense and life simpler for the people commuting between these two places. Okay, the Pamban Bridge is India's first vertical lift sea bridge. By what that means is that when it goes up, it's at a 90-degree angle, and that's the kind of space it creates, very similar to the bridges that you see outside India as well, specifically a place like the London Bridge, where of course there is a complete vertical opening of the bridge, and this is in the Ramanathapuram district, which has a lot of sea traffic. It has a lot of country-to-country ocean trade happening, connects Rameshwaram Island to the mainland as well. There were not too many other sources of getting or commuting to this kind of a place other than road, and this has been built over a cost of 550 crore rupees, which is also considered to be a great standardization of economizing a project at this scale. This has been constructed by the Rail Vikas Nigam Limited, which is responsible for such targets and responsible for creating bridges like these. It replaces the old Pamban Bridge, which was built in 1914. It was extremely old and in a dilapidated condition, and the bridge was built using engineering methods which have been extremely unique to India and which have been extremely well received by the government as the state and the central alike. It uses advanced materials like stainless steel, which obviously makes it durable, it makes it tangible, and it also makes it lifelong. Its corrosion resistant coating is applied because obviously when something like this is next to the ocean, there is obviously this huge chance of it being corroded. Its lift span was launched using auto launching methods, which precisely in engineering terms means that the lift off is obviously extremely smooth, and the lifespan is positioned with hydraulic jacking. Now, this is something which has been used in a number of bridges across the world. The trains can travel of up to 75 kilometers an hour, which also signifies its sturdiness, its strength, as well as its longevity. It's 2.07 kilometer bridge, which makes it one of the longest sea bridges in India, perhaps even in the world. 99 spans of 18.3 meters steel plate girders, each which have been used. An important feature is right parallel to the highway as well. 72.5 meters long navigational span as well. Important engineering feats have been achieved and can be raised by 17 meters to allow the passage of ships, depending on what kind of a vessel is it is, but it's usually a port which entertains big vessels, so obviously there will be an opening every time something comes through. The clearance of 22 meters above sea level is also something which is commendable at this point in time, and the substructure is designed for 2 tracks. So that means there are other trains subsequently who can pass right along the first one. The superstructure initially accommodates a single line, but this is something which has been made keeping the future in mind, keeping that there will be more traffic that is going to be accommodated by this bridge, and it's a marvel that we're going to discuss with our guest. Mr. Prempal Sharma, former Executive Director of Railway Board, is with us on the show. Mr. T.S. Ramakrishna, railway expert, also joins us. Mr. Sudhir Krishna, former Secretary of Urban Development and Chairman Committee on Standards for Smart Cities, is also joining us on the show. And last but by no means the least, Dr. Sharat Kohli, Senior Economist, is with us on the program as well. Dr. Kohli, I'll begin with you. Well, very recently there was a lot of comparison being made when it comes to India and India's startup ecosystem, as well as the startup ecosystem of other countries as well. When you look at these updates, when you look at these innovations and methods coming along which facilitate Indian commerce and that facilitate India's freight ecosystem, what goes through your mind? Obviously, we may not be in fact at a level that China possesses at this point in time, but it's important to highlight these developments, Dr. Kohli, to show to the world that India is slowly and steadily getting to that point, and this is a prime example of that.
Good afternoon, Vineet, and good afternoon to my fellow panelists and NewsX viewers. I think, yes, it sends the message that India is steadily moving towards the goal of being a Viksit Bharat. Well, there's an old saying in English which says Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, when you go to developed countries, you travel a lot, Vineet, so do I. When you see the infrastructure there, when you see these architectural or engineering marvels there, you wonder, I mean, why can't our country be like that? That's one thought which crosses your mind. But little do we know that that infrastructure took hundreds of years, decades sometimes, or sometimes hundreds of years to build. So we are heading in the right direction. This bridge is an engineering marvel. I mean, you and me both have crossed the London Bridge probably 1,000,000 times. And I think it's quite a spectacle when you see the ships crossing underneath. And you have a train running up there, and then there's a ship crossing underneath. I think it's an absolute marvel. The sheer size of this bridge and the material used and the anti-corrosion material used, considering building this build was a tough task, because you're right on the sea. You've got the stormy weather, you've got stormy waters. It's been a very tough task, and 111-year bridge being replaced by this modern bridge is quite an achievement. I think this is very much a part of India's infrastructure push, beneath which we've been seeing for ever since this government took over. More than 100 lakh crores spent on infrastructure, and we all know that infrastructure has got a multiplier effect. In fact, every rupee spent on infrastructure gives you an almost 8 times multiplier effect. There's a whole economic benefit which accrues around that infrastructure investment. That's one. Secondly, this bridge is going to bring Rameshwaram and the main island together. That's one. It's going to promote tourism. It's going to promote the social connection between the people who live in the two places. It's going to reduce the logistic costs. Most importantly, it's going to reduce the travel time between Rameshwaram and the mainland. And let's not forget, Rameshwaram is a huge tourist attraction. The Rameshwaram temple there, where Prime Minister Modi was there, it's one of the 12 Jyotirlings in the country. And this bridge is only going to add value to the whole location as such. And, Prime Minister visiting, and there's another message, Vineet, which I wanted to convey here, that a lot of people, a lot of voices from the opposition say that the opposition ruled states are being neglected, only the NDA ruled states are being looked at for infrastructure development. I think this defies that completely. This is a slap on the face of people who voice that kind of concern. I think India as such is one country, and I don't think the government at the center has a bias in mind for non-BJP and non-NDA or NDA ruled states. Now, the state is ruled by Mr. Stalin, who's the chief minister there. A lot of things were being heard in the past. So I think Prime Minister's visit, this inauguration, categorically sends the message that the government at the center views the country as one, whether it is north in Kashmir, whether it is west, whether it is east or down south. There is no discrimination made in terms of development of the country as such. Whatever be the part of the country, I think the government has a very, very balanced view that regional balanced development is the motto. I think the bridge is going to transform the lives of people. Bridge is going to be a huge attraction I remember when I was a child, when I first visited London on the London Bridge, I was with my parents at that time, and I told them that I wanted to see how the bridge lifts itself, once the ships cross. And then it was quite a sight for me, very, very, I would say, enticing for me to have a look. Now you have this kind of facility in India. I think it should be a great attraction for the tourists who go around that area. Vineet.
Dr. Kohli. Let me also rope in Mr. Sudhir Krishna into this conversation. Mr. Krishna, how would you describe the importance as well as you know, the fabulous way in which India has been able to do this smoothly for one of our ports, for one of our destinations. Is this one of many beginnings that we should brace ourselves for?
Well, I think, first of all, good evening and greetings to you, Vinitji, and all the listeners and my fellow panelists on this happy occasion. And I think that this is a landmark event in many ways, and the potential has to be exploited. I mean, we are remembering Rameshwaram for the temple and for the related stories and beliefs. But Rameshwaram has much more to offer for many others also. Those who do not have, much, those who do not belong to the faith of Rama and so on, even for them also. For example, there is a very nice church there, and that church is so unique. Saint Anthony. I visited Rameshwaram, some 10 years ago, of course, when this bridge was under discussion and so on. And the church is a Chinese architecture marvelous. It's a beautiful church, unique. Then there are mosques, and above all, recent times, APJ Abdul Kalam, our famous personality president, his birthplace and his memorial there. I mean, this is a wonderful place. And now it is the opportunity for state government and those who matter there for development of the area to make a regional plan. Because a lot of tourists can come and should come if you popularize it well enough, Thousands of people are coming now, but lakhs of people can come easily every month to Rameshwaram, and that would require proper development of infrastructure and facilities, not only in Rameshwaram, but in the mainland, also surrounding area. It will improve the economy of the area, awareness among the people. I mean, it's a win-all situation. There's nothing we are going to lose, except if we don't do proper planning. And the proper planning will lead the district and the area to much greater heights, and it has got potential of. In South India, it's a very major thing, In northeast, southwest, one Jyotirlinga each, if you count, this is one of them. So it is a wonderful thing, I think, great achievement, and we should be proud of it.
You're quite right about that. Mr. Prempal Sharma, it's a wonderful initiative. It's a wonderful achievement. We should all be proud of it. But we need more of these. We need, regular, infrastructural updates like these, to understand the pace at which India has grown and is growing.
Thank you, Mr. Vineet. And my fellow has already highlighted that a beautiful report by you and then supplemented by Mr. Kohli. Many aspects have been covered. For me, it is a really day of a pride moment for the Indian Railways. For 2-3 reasons, the technique adopted for upgrading this bridge with all perfection, and will provide a better communication on the sea routes. But more than that, I feel proud that some important names are associated with that. As rightly Mr. Krishnan highlighted, Mr. Kalam belonged to the Rameshwaram. And more than that, our metro man, Sridharan, his name is also associated with Pamban Bridge. In 1964, when he was a young railway professional, he just joined railways. At that time, all of a sudden, this bridge was collapsed, and within 40 days, that was a record time. That shows that the metro man had that at that age. And after that, he completed many projects like Konkan Railways, Delhi Metro, and I think in 30. So this is very important. More than that, as Mr. Kohli touched that point, I am also proud of that. That currently the Indian Sea is being projected as the conflict between North and South. And I think this is nothing can be more important day than this, Ram Navami, that religion, pilgrimage, and for that, that center and the infrastructure facilities are being acted without any prejudice. Whether it is the development of Northeast or in Kashmir, that recently some railway, that one of the highest railway was inaugurated. This achievement shows the will of the center as well as the technical power of the Indian railways also. Not only that, today they have inaugurated this Pamban Bridge, some 2 more projects have been inaugurated. One from Rameshwaram to Chennai, that's some different name. And I think the one link and then 4 lane of Andhra to the Chennai. So that if infrastructure is strong, that trade and everything, and why am I remembering trade? Because at this moment, the President Trump that attack on of the all globally, that we have to be very cautious that if our infrastructure is strong, our trade is and our technical manpower is, that we have to be taken care of that. But one aspect I was just remembering, and we should be proud of our heritage also. Britishers built it in 1914, as remembered by Mr. Kohli. When I was in 93 in England and Europe, I saw that different infrastructure, and I used to think, when we will have this kind of bank facilities, when will you have the metro railways? By that time, it was not in place. So I think we are going in that right direction. We have to now be more indigenous. Our technical, our engineers, our youth, one of the largest number. Now we have to be there. But I think that thank you for your channel also, because such kind of achievement should be highlighted for many reasons. For our technical power, our dedication, our north-south. This is not a Pamban Bridge. This is a bridge between north and south. This is all I can say. Thank you.
Your observations and your reaction to this major development.
Whom you are asking? Yeah,
You, sir. Mr. Ramakrishnan, you, sir.
Okay, fine. So, I mean, there are there are many engineering dimensions that are completely new to this particular project, and in fact, the Indian Railway has published a small document consisting of what all are the new features that they have added. The first thing is they have gone for stainless steel reinforcement instead of conventional carbon steel reinforcement, which is going to be which can handle the harsh environment better than the carbon steel reinforcement. So because the seawater and then the turbulence in the seawater and the salt content, so many things are there actually, and then tidings can happen at any time, and all that will have because the tidings will happen all throughout the day and during certain periods, and all will have an impact on that. So to overcome that, the railway has gone for stainless steel reinforcement in place of carbon steel reinforcement. Then Welding Research Institute of Bell. See, there are many, although RVNL has carried out this particular project on behalf of Indian Railways, many institutions have contributed to that. For example, in the case of this vertical lift span, IIT Madras has contributed its technical know-how. And then regarding welding, the Welding Research Institute that was constituted long back in BHEL Trichy have significantly contributed to this particular thing, so that the testings are not non-invasive, like what we are seeing it in our surgeries. Our surgeries are becoming more and more non-invasive than invasive. And because when you try to test welding by invasive methods, you are completely weakening the structure. So they have used advanced techniques so that the welding is being tested without penetrating through the welding structure. So because the entire structure is steel, and then entire structure is being welded. So there are no nuts and bolts, so welding. So this is another area. And then they have developed this wind velocity, they have monitoring system also, because although the bridge is fine, everything is fine, the wind velocity monitoring system is also supposed to be available there in the bridge, so that whenever you pass the train, before passing the train, you must know that the wind is not exceeding that particular limit. Because the wind is, if the wind is so high and the speed of wind speed is so aggressive, then it can even topsy-turvy the train. So that is the kind of accidents that we have experienced earlier. So this wind monitoring system will give the station master and other people enough inputs on whether to permit the trains during turbulent times, not during normal times, during the turbulent times. So there must be, you can't measure it unless otherwise there are some clear numbers on that. And then for operating these verticals, because the existing bridge as a structure like this, whenever a ship wants to go, whereas here it is completely lifting it up to a certain height, so that much more than the existing thing, so that the ships can go underneath comfortably. Even big ships can go comfortably underneath, so that the ships can go underneath up to the Arabian coast and then join there instead of circumambulating through Sri Lanka. So this is another thing. And then to operate this lift span, this vertical lift, they have the control room, and the control room is situated somewhere in between. So there are, technicians who will be available all the time to operate this. So, and to have water for them, what they have done is they have installed a system whereby from the humidity, they convert that humidity into water and then use it for the drinking purposes and other purposes also. So, a lot of new ideas, new things have come into play in this, Pamban Bridge. And moreover, this is also, we have already developed a rolling stock which can run up to 180 km per hour.
All right,
and
sir.
now we constructed this civil structure.
You're right about that, sir. The civil structure.
And this is
and-
the time.
And definitely, this is another feather in our hat when it comes to our infrastructure promise as well as our infrastructural base. We've run out of time. Appreciate everybody who joined us. Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break now. Be right back.